Welcome to a very special edition of Gooner Pavilion. Arsenal versus Chelsea Carabao semi-final reaction. Three ups and three downs, and Arsenal are true to the Carabao Cup finals. Let the fireworks begin. Okay, just kidding. This was the semi-final second leg that Arsenal control without chasing, and that context matters for what we're about to break down. And as my phone just lit, I was wondering who was calling. For what we're about to break down, and we're going to look at the three things that Arsenal did well, and just wait for the three downs in this special edition, because I think you're going to love it. And but more importantly, we're going to talk about how these players perfected Mikel Arteta's instruction. It was absolutely amazing, and we're gonna get into it. So stick with me, but don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. And always, I say thank you to all of you that continue to watch the channel. Really appreciate all of you. This channel will be nothing without you guys. So let's get into it. Our Arsenal three ups and three downs. Okay, you know where I'm going with this one. First up is Gabriel Magalhaes. This guy was colossal in this game. He's the foundation. So let's start with him. Let's start with the foundation. And listen, this graphic, actually tells you the whole story about Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, look at it, four clearances. He won the aerial duels. He wasn't dribbled past once, in this game. But more importantly, look at where his actions are in the game. Almost all of them are inside Arsenal's defensive third, close to the goal. And what that actually means, guys, is that Chelsea had shots, they had possessions, but Gabriel made sure that those shots came from uncomfortable angles and crowded zones. And this is just elite center back play in a knockout game. You don't stop the attacks, you stop danger. Which is just amazing. And I think that this was a classic tune-up for Arsenal for what might be ahead in terms of the knockout stages in the Champions League. Chelsea ended this game, with pressure but without penetration, and that starts with Gabriel. Okay, so second up, guys, for me. Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi, so good I had to put them together as a pair. They control this midfield, and you're gonna say, "What are you talking about?" They control the midfield without the ball. Without the ball, look at their average positions again. You're probably going to get tired of this graphic, right? This right here is the game, guys. Look at the spacing between Rice and Zubimendi. Um, they are not flying around making highlight tackles and all of that. They are blocking passing lanes, slowing tempo, forcing Chelsea sideways. This is why Chelsea's possession looks heavy but not sharp. And I know that sometimes when you're watching the game and it's all tense, you're kind of thinking, "Oh my goodness, what's going on?" But when you actually look at it, none of those Chelsea midfielders really, got a chance to turn in this game. Jao Pedro kept receiving the ball, facing away from goal. And yes, his hold up play was great, but he wasn't doing anything afterwards. Right. This wasn't a midfield battle that Arsenal won. It was one that Chelsea never fully got into. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This game was more tactical than anything else. It was just a master class, from Mikel Arteta. It felt like one of those Jose Mourinho, sort of playbooks that Mikel Arteta just, went and picked up and dusted. I was like, right, this is how we're going to suffocate the oxygen, from you. Give you all the ball. We don't care, because we had planned for you to have the ball. But what we have also planned is that we'll have the right structure that you can do nothing with it. And for me, the third up, we've got to talk about him, Kai Havertz. When I was watching this game, I was like, this is just a game for Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is going to make a difference when he comes into this game. And he did. Wish I had tweeted that out, at the time. Because, semifinals, you don't need a lot of volume. What you need is clarity. Clarity in what the players need to do, clarity in roles, clarity in keeping your structure. Chelsea finally overcome it in the last couple of minutes in the game. Arsenal survived the pressure. And then Havertz does exactly what this game demands: calm finish, no drama. That goal isn't about Havertz, right? It's really about understanding game state for me. It was one chance, one decision, and the tie is over. It was absolutely brilliant. And the discipline and mentality that the Arsenal players showed in this game is actually one to be admired of. I'm actually going to watch this game again, just so that I can just, enjoy what was a really, really good performance by Arsenal. This is what you do when you go away from home and do the business. When you come back home, it's all about understanding what you need to do, being secure, understanding game state, understanding the momentum, and everybody doing their job. Do your job. That's all you are asked to do when you get on the pitch. And if you do your job, you follow the coach's instruction, good things happen. Okay, let's do three downs. And I know that normally for those of you that watch this show, three downs is usually for me an opportunity to talk about what Arsenal could improve on. But actually, this three downs is a little bit of a twist, because this is not about bashing Arsenal or anything like that. They're just things that. But let's just get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, so first down, Chelsea's shot quality, right? This is the biggest down of the game, and it's not effort, right? Chelsea had 11 shots, but if you look at this graphic, most of those are outside the box. Straight lines, no disguise. And that's not Arsenal hanging on. That's Arsenal forcing low quality decisions. And sometimes you don't need to beat elite teams, by just shooting and all of that. Sometimes you can just frustrate elite teams in knockout games, and that's just amazing. Okay, this one is interesting, right? Second down for me is actually everyone misreading Eberechi Eze. Yes, I know. A lot of you guys were out there screaming about Eze, being lazy, and all of that, needs more time, and that slander for me is actually very lazy. So I'm just gonna bring up Eze's heat map, for you guys to take a look at. Now look at where Eze is operating: deep, central, left half space. He's not playing as a chance creator here. He's playing as a connector and a stabilizer. And that's really important because his specific role in this game was to help Arsenal get through Chelsea pressure, not slice them open, to carry the ball 5 yards, to draw a foul, to let Arsenal reset. And listen, if you wanted Eze's highlights, you wanted the wrong game. This was about control. This was the classic Mikel Arteta's control game. And hey, people might be talking about Eze is the kind of player that you want explosiveness, you want to take players on and all of that. But this was not the game for it. Arsenal did not have to win this game. We had already won the first half. We had already won the first leg. So this was about playing the game to get to the semi-final, and there is a huge difference. Now, if you were bashing Eze, in a game that Arsenal needed to win, okay, I get you. But I believe that Eze was playing to instructions by Mikel Arteta. And it shows. You keep looking at this graphic and you're like, yeah, he was kind of everywhere, especially in the areas that Mikel Arteta wanted him to be. Connecting the balls 2 yards here, 3 yards here, 5 yards here. That's what Eze was instructed to do, and he did that beautifully. Okay, third down for me, another player, Victor Gyökeres in this game. And I know the strikers are judged a lot, because of what they do, putting the ball in the back of the net and all of that. And again, I'm going to show you his heat map, because sometimes, a striker's job, it's really to help the structure of the game and keep the structure of the team intact. And that's where everybody needs to contribute. I used to remember Chelsea in Jose Mourinho's time, where you see, like the likes of Drogba, and he's just like, doing lots of defending. You see, players like, Joe Cole having to learn how to track back and defend, and yes, people might say, well, you're nullifying the attacking, characteristics of the players. But every game is not the same. Every game is not the same. Every game is about outcomes, about results. What does this game need? And can I do what this game needs in order for the team to win? And I think for me, and Gyökeres, look at how central he stays in this heat map. No drifting, no chasing touches. He's there to pin the center backs. And if you remember watching that game, he was pinning the center backs. He was stopping Chelsea squeezing the pitch. And that was very, very important. Turning clearances into territory, the out ball for Arsenal. The ball was going to, and in that first half, there were a couple of times when the ball was going over the top. And Gyökeres' role was really actually to allow Martinelli to get clean through. And he was there to actually pin the center backs, so that Martinelli would get a one-on-one chance with either the player who was playing, towards that right-hand side, of Chelsea Gusto, or just in between the center back and the right back, because Chelsea were playing five at the back. And that was a very, very important role. And he did that role, ran himself tirelessly, to the ground. Did the job that Mikel Arteta wanted him to do. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta was so pleased. Gyökeres stayed high. Arsenal backline, get breathing room. Chelsea can't fully commit. And that matters, right? So, I mean, listen, not every game the striker is there to score. Sometimes that striker is there to protect structure, and that's what Victor Gyökeres was all about. So, guys, listen, this wasn't Arsenal at their most entertaining. This game needed something completely different. It was Arsenal at their most grown up, controlling zones, managing emotion. Then they took the one moment they needed. And listen, if you're judging this game purely on ratings or highlights, you've missed how finals are reached. This is one of those games where the ratings and the stats will lie a lot. They're going to tell you some very, very strange things. But, when you actually look between the numbers, you look between, some of those stats, and you look at what the corresponding stats actually mean, you will see that Arsenal are in Wembley. They got there the hard way, the right way. I just remember this movie, The Hard Way, The Only Way. Arsenal got there the hard way, the right way. Absolutely brilliant. But guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Appreciate all of you. What a great night. Really, really shame I couldn't be at the game today. But I'm so glad, the boys got the business done. And listen, we've got a big game now. We've got to put this one to bed. Then we've got a big game against Sunderland. This is huge. Sunderland come to the Emirates. And if you've been following us, this is one of those home games that we've got to bank it. So rest up. Get all the excitement, celebration. Nothing is won yet. Nothing is won yet. All we've done is bought a ticket to the final. So now we've got to go do it, but that's a long time away from now. Now it's back to the business of the Premier League, and Sunderland awaits. So I'm going to be previewing that game, Arsenal versus Sunderland, looking at what Sunderland will bring to the table. So don't forget to check out our other videos as well, and look out for Arsenal versus Sunderland preview, guys. And until we see again, Wembley, we're all going to Wembley. I'll see you in the next one.